Ready?
Absolutely.
Episode 56. We are back on the sofa with an amazing guest.
Incredible Lindsey Kane. And it's such a funny thing when, you know, in February, on my 39th birthday, actually, just a reminder, I'm 40 next year, that I went and I remember driving to the event riddled with anxiety. Honestly, absolutely didn't know what I was doing. And I turned up, sat down, and you came on with your yes button. What a moment that I needed to hear that yes button, because sometimes as women, we get lost. And I think we've said this numerous times on numerous episodes, that as women, we get lost under the layers of what society tells us, under everything, because we forget ourselves, don't we? So when you come on with this yes button, I was like, here she is. So welcome.
Thank you.
That's how you come about, how you came into my life, and talk to us about where the yes button came from, I suppose.
Well, so that event was such a brilliant event. It was in local hometown. I was so nervous to do that. It was really, because it was one of my first, the biggest ones. I've like done smaller ones, but to do that was a big talk for me, and having like a big slide thing behind me and using a clicker. Because I was like, please just don't break down. Because, you know, you try and rehearse things, don't you? And I'm like, no, I just need to actually just have a few prompts and speak on that. Yeah. How it came about. So I suppose a few years ago, I kind of went through a thing, I lost someone close to me, and it kind of made me evaluate everything in my life at that time. And I'd say my she's 10 this year, and when she was born, I suppose looking back now, it was probably postnatal depression.
Yeah.
But what happens is, women are scared to speak up, because it's that fear of, I'm not doing it right. It's a fear of failure. And actually, the common thing that I'm realizing is, as we know, we did a Zoom talk the other week, is so many women are going through the exact same thing, feeling the exact same thing, but just think that we're alone in it. Absolutely. And I just thought, everyone seems to have their shit together. I should have checked, can we swear?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So when I had my daughter, I'd had a C-section, but my friend had a C-section like 2 weeks before me. And she was like walking around, pushing the pram, posing for pictures. And I was like curled over. I couldn't laugh, cough or sneeze without busting my C-section stitches. By the way, if anyone's going through that, you need to go into full fetal position, because it just takes the pressure off that area if you need to cough, sneeze or laugh.
There you go.
And so I was just really as we are, everything sort of changes. You kind of have to grieve. This is the thing that people don't talk about when you have a baby, is the transition through from just being an individual to then being responsible for something and keeping it alive.
Yeah.
But also, I think there's the woman and the mom, like, you have to grieve the loss of the person and the version that you once were.
Yeah.
But no one kind of talks about that. It's like, oh, here you go, here's this thing, now you've got to keep it alive. And it doesn't come with instructions.
Yeah.
And I was just really down, I was crying a lot. But everyone around me with love was just saying, oh yeah, but look, we've got this to look forward to, or we're going on this trip, we're going here, we're doing this, we've got this coming up, we've got this experience. And it was like, I don't care about
dating. What you're actually feeling is okay.
Yeah, but it was coming from a place of love. They were trying to cheer me up.
Yeah.
And what happened, and then I spoke to a friend who is no longer in my life, and they were like, oh, for God's sake, like, you're so privileged, what have you got to be upset about? And so instantly I'm like, oh God, I sound so ungrateful. I better shut my mouth. I know I'm privileged. I know I'm lucky. I've got a husband who is a successful career and comedian, and I get to do unbelievable things that most people would dream about. And so, but I better shut up. I better keep my mouth shut. Push it down.
Can't feel like.
But with my husband, every month I'd cry and he'd be like, I'm not where I want to be, but I don't know where it is that I want to be. And for years I was like that. And then, like I say, I lost someone close to me, and it made me evaluate everything. And I started to do, I call it a life audit, where I basically go through everyone that's in my life. And when my phone rings, how do I feel when I see their name flash up? Do I go, yes, I want to speak to them, I can't answer it quick enough? Or do I go, oh,
can't be bothered?
And that's the first indication. So all the people where you go, oh, you have to start unpicking that and going, well, what is it about them that makes you go, ugh? Like you don't want to pick up the call. Is it because they make you feel shit about yourself? Do they put you down? Do they, you know, are they being negative with everything? You know, because your body, and again, you just sort of mentioned, which I'm sure we'll talk about, is the most important thing that a woman can do, anyone, but especially a woman, is listen to their intuition, listen to how your body's reacting and around certain people.
Yeah.
So when so I started to do that. It's just a really simple thing, doesn't cost anything. You just start evaluating how people make you feel, and then literally just spend less time with those people and more time with the people that make you feel good. So that's sort of where the shift for me started, because then what happens is, when you spend less time in drama land with all these people that love to gossip and criticize and belittle people, and you spend more time with people that energize you and make you feel like you can do anything, you start having the brain capacity to take on more creative things. You start thinking, oh, well, because I was constantly role playing, right? Well, I can't say that to that person because I know what will trigger that reaction. I'm walking on eggshells with that person. I can't have that conversation. And life's too short. I don't want to worry about what I'm saying because something I might say might trigger them. It's just the way
you just take yourself out of that situation, don't you? And just stop.
Stop. Exactly. And so
reacting to it.
So then when I spent less time in drama land, and then I came over to the other side of drama free land, that's why I'm like really passionate. I'm like, it is amazing over here. So bring as many people with me. And so I started having the brain capacity to be like, oh, I've got this business idea. Oh, I could do it in this way. I could shape it this way. Oh, I might try that. I might create this. And so I'm actually really creative. And I think as human beings, we're really creative. Especially women, we create life. We creators. And I think that drama stops us from accessing that side of our brain. So that's
I think this comes down to who you surround yourself with. That's exactly what you're saying, is surround yourself with like-minded people who want the authentic parts of you, people who want every part of you. And I think nobody teaches us that. So we grow up, young girls, young people, and we're told. So it's my favourite analogy, this is. So we're young, we're pure, we're born, and then we get coats put on us. Are you too loud to put a coat on? You can't wear that dress, another coat on. So then we come to our age, I think, or my age, late 30s, and who am I beyond that? So who is Sarah Luby beyond that? And that's what I loved about the Zoom we did the other night with Lou Featherstone.
Yeah, so for some context, I've just launched an online community called The Yes Button, and it's basically, I'm not a coach, I don't claim to be, I'm just a woman, and I want to unpick everything. And I think we go through so many different life stages, and I want to create a safe space where we do it together. So I struggle with accountability. So I'm like, if I've got someone else that I'm accountable for, I'll stick to it. So each month we'll do a theme, and then we have a guest on, and they sort of talk us through their whatever for this month. It was our first month with Lou Featherstone. She's Lou in Louland on Instagram. She's amazing.
Honestly, I woke up that next morning like, actually, I'm going for it. And because we get so stuck in this simple mindset of we must do this, we must do that. Again, come back to who are you beyond the layers of what life's given you, of childhood and everything else. Who are you fully? And that's what I loved about that. So the yes button is all about just going for it.
And saying yes to yourself. And so the Zoom that we did with Lo, the theme this month was all about identity. And again, so I call myself an onion, where I'm like,
how bizarre, because I do.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, someone said that a girl can't do this. Oh, really? Who told me that? And I'm like peeling this onion layer off. Oh, someone told me that I was masculine and I'm unrelatable. Oh, really? Okay. So it's just about unpeeling all these things. And I don't know about you, but it didn't occur to me until my daughter turned about 7. I'm like, oh my God, I see things being put on her all the time. When I did my talk and I spoke about my daughter going to something, I won't share the specific activity on the podcast, but she went to a class or something, and she dressed the part. She wanted to dress like a professional. And the teacher looked at her. And by the way, this teacher should not work with kids. She went, "What are you wearing that for? That's only for competitions." And my daughter was she was about 8 at this point, and she just went, and I saw her shrink, and she filled up with tears, and she went, "Mummy, can you go get my coat? I need to cover up," because the teacher was sort of like mocked her. And then that same teacher recently, my daughter had missed a few classes and wanted to catch up, so I booked her some like private lessons. And she was a bit scared to do this thing. The teacher sort of said, I said, "Oh, she's doing these lessons to try and catch up with her friends." She was like, she won't be able to do that. She'll be 2-3 years minimum. She'll be 2-3 years minimum, and with the way she is. And but she said it in front of my daughter, and I'm like, I'm trying not to. I'm not a violent person, but my God,
when it comes to
children,
so,
it's really hard.
And after, so my daughter did the thing. She did it. She worked through it. And then after, she was like, "Oh, she's actually really good." I was like, "Yeah, no." I said, "Oh, can I ask you just to be careful with the language that you're using? Things like that." I said, "She'll really focus on what you've just said there about saying she'll take 2 to 3 years minimum to catch up with her friends, and she's missed about 6 lessons, And I said, I don't want to, I think that a comment like that will impact her confidence. So could you just maybe let her know that you think that she's great because you've just said it to me, and also just be mindful." And then she turned around to me and she went, "Has she been diagnosed with something?" And I was just like, "No." But it's funny how that teacher was blaming like my child as if like she's the one that's got the issue because she'll be holding on to that negativity. But negativity is just put on us all the time.
So you can see it even from a young age, these labels, and it's
onion
like
layers.
I don't even know how many layers I've got. I think I'm just full 10,000 layers of onion. But I think when
at the moment.
but you know what, actually I'd say that now, I perhaps was 2 years ago. I think now what I've been doing the work and surrounding myself with like-minded women, looking at people and saying, wow, I'm a woman's woman as well. I think this is what we need to talk about, is when I see another woman succeed, I clap. I struggle when women don't. I absolutely love people succeeding, and I used to take them things personally. So 2 years ago, I'd be like, if somebody said to me something nasty about me, I'd be like, "Oh God, must be me." And actually now I know people who say horrible things and want to bring us down about certain things, that's a them issue now. And it's building them boundaries as a woman, that safety within yourself. So for me, it's been about building a home within myself, a home where I can come back to when shit hits the fan, because it always does, doesn't it? And it's been magical. And then when I've come to the Wild and Wild event, and I was watching you and the yes button, and and it's to hear you say you were nervous and everything like that, because we're still just women and we're just trying to share our journey and show people that there is different, isn't there? In your hardest times, you can choose absolutely different for yourself. So the yes button community is something that I think will thrive, because even on that Zoom the other night, we watched people like opening up that safe place. And I think it's so important, isn't it?
It really is. I think it's what's needed. And I think I didn't realise subconsciously that I've been trying to create this for many years. I just didn't know what it looked like at the time. But I spoke to my husband and my best friend recently, and I was like, I totally get, because I said on the call, I said, so when my daughter was born, I kept crying every month, going, I'm not where I want to be, and I'm frustrated because I feel like life's just slipping away and I'm not where I want to be, but I don't know where it is that I want to be. And I've been trying all these different careers, like, no, it just doesn't feel right. And then I did like some sort of like therapy thing, and I was like, I know what it is. I know what it is that I'm meant to do. I want to help people. I want to help women. And again, I didn't know what it looked like then. And the other way I can describe it is I feel like for such the longest time, I've been like swimming against the tide. And then now I'm like, I'm just going to float against it. I'm going to float with the tide and then just see where it takes me. And I think every business that I've ever had, which I've been trying to set up businesses from 16, I've always, if it's not gone that way, it's like, oh, it's failed. And I've been really hard on myself. But actually, I'm like, this is what I want to do. I want to help women. So I'm just going to float and see where it takes me. So then it took like another year before this whole thing came about. And I've just enjoyed the process of seeing where it takes me and meeting women and, you know, going to different events, going on podcasts, messaging someone random on Instagram, going, do you want to go for a coffee, and seeing if there's chemistry. I don't ever force things. I'm not fake. Like, I'm like, if it works, it works. Like, I never try and force something. You can't fake energy. I've realised that.
And absolutely not. It's the art of letting go.
100%. And I think I've enjoyed, you know, I know where my destination is, and I'm just going with it and seeing where it takes me. So right now, I'm like, right, I've set this community up, and I think for the longest time I would never launch something if it wasn't perfect. And I remember at school putting on my CV thinking it was like a badge of honour, going, I'm a perfectionist. But actually it's not. No. It's just, that's just an excuse and a label that we're putting on ourselves to not do something because it's not perfect. Well, nothing's ever going to be perfect. No. It's like I've launched this community. We launched it and we were like, right, we're going to do this paid subscription on Instagram, launch. Then there was problems and people were trying to sign up, and then it was like, oh, it's not letting me. It's saying that I've got to go onto a waiting list. And I'm like, well, they're in the UK. Why is it not working? So I'm like, right, we're just going to keep it simple. We're going to, you know, so I've had to change, and I'm not worried about it looking perfect because I don't claim to be. I'm just like, listen, I'm doing this. Yeah. Just come and join, and I'm trying to make it work, and I'm sort of pivoting whenever I need to, and I'm not being scared about that. And I think, again, if I'm talking about it, someone might look at me and think, oh, she's got a shit together. I haven't. I don't even know what day it is today. Yeah. But I'm just like, I'm pivoting all the time. And I think if you see somebody else do it, you're like, oh, well, maybe I could pivot a little bit as well. And it's just kind of giving the women a nod to themselves, like, well, we can all do it. We can do it together. But I've spent years being like, oh, I prefer being around men. I just want to be around men. And I know why. And it's because I was severely bullied at school by two girls in particular. They made my life hell. They made me hate myself. They would call me ugly. And I had a nose job when I left at 16. So this was 20 years ago. In the transition between school and college, I had my nose done because my nose was bigger, Ukrainian and Italian heritage. And I'm kind of like, I've never really thought about it until recently, that I'm really pissed off at the fact that they kind of robbed me of that. Absolutely. Yeah. You know, and I did it to fit in. So God knows what it'd be like now for children growing up. But because I'd not had formed those friendships at school, I always had like one. And I always craved like a group of women. But when I was in groups of women, they were also bitchy and critical and laughing. And always, she thinks she is. Like, oh, look, what is it that you're trying to do? You know, when I started putting content online, what is it that you're trying to do, Lindsay? And I'm like, I can't think I'm this, I think I'm that. And for the longest time, I'd be like, well, I can't do that because I'm married to somebody in the public eye and I don't want people to think this of me. And now I'm like, I've got my daughter's watching whatever she sees me not doing and holding back on, she's going to do it 10 times. So if I'm really confident, I'm like quite a naked person at home. I'm always, you know, I'm showing my crazy outfits that I'm wearing to festivals because this has been a thing like I've never experimented with fashion, and I am now, and I'm really communicating that with her because I want her to be confident in her body. And it's funny because obviously she's got two parents that are super confident, and she takes pictures, and she said, oh, I love that picture, it's such a beautiful picture of me. And I was like, how lovely.
That's amazing.
And I saw her say it in front of someone the other day, and an adult, and they went as if like, oh, you know, you could see them wince. And I think it's about them, you know, it's them, it's
that's and I think that's so important to drill into.
Braggy or it's like, why?
Absolutely, Brad.
We should celebrate ourselves.
100%.
And if we don't, nobody else will.
Exactly.
And I think as parents, one of our biggest, I've had to do a lot of inner child work and a lot of healing to be able to be the fully present mum that I am, because I didn't want my children to be brought up like in the box, and this is how you've got to be, they're loud, they're out there, and you can see sometimes people going, good grief. But that's what children are meant to be. And I don't want to knock that out of them, because and it's so important that we allow our children to be fully them in a world that tells them to be everything but. And I think like that's where the work comes for me is so important. As parents, we're role models. And do you feel like you've had to do that your inner child's healed through your daughter?
Yeah.
Because I feel like my inner child, being a mum and that fun mum and that, is heal parts of me I didn't realise I needed to be healed. So I suppose with you being that way with your daughter, then you heal parts of you.
100%.
And it's so powerful, isn't it? It's so powerful to heal them parts of you that have been told to hide, that have been told to be small, and sit in this little box your whole life. And still now, if I post on Instagram, I sometimes get anxiety, then thoughts appear, that fear of being seen for fully who I am. And I had hypnotherapy not long ago, and it was really powerful. And my 12-year-old little girl came up who was really still scared of being seen. And now what I do is when I get these feelings that come up, I tell her that I'm safe and that she's my cheerleader now. So that we're always going to come up against this feeling, this smallness that we've been told to do, but it's in the moment of we are an observer of our thoughts. We are in control of what we do with that. And honestly, it's a game changer.
The internal dialogue is huge. Do you know what my internal dialogue is? It used to be really negative because, again, it was like the bullies, just hear them in my in my mind. But my internal dialogue, again, I did a lot of inner child work. I have a photograph of me as like an 8-year-old girl, and I on my mirror, and I also did and I went to an event in Barcelona with this incredible woman called Dr. Amanda. She is the Muse something on Instagram. She's brilliant. I'll send you the link for her. And if I'd known what I was doing before I went to the event, I probably wouldn't have gone because it was so out of my comfort zone. But oh my God, I was so glad that I went. And we had to take a little picture of us as a child. And what came out is, again, that whole thing of making yourself feel safe. And then afterwards I had like a massage, and it wasn't intentional, it was just, my little version of me came into this room. It was a black room, it was just me and her, me as I am now, and I just hugged her, and we didn't speak. And it was amazing and so powerful, but it was because of what I went through at school and being bullied and just not feeling good enough, the words are so horrible. Like, my daughter's going through stuff at school, and it's horrible watching words hurt them. And what I was going to say about the inner child work. So my internal dialogue, what it used to be, is negative, but now it's my younger version going, you better do it, because I didn't have the confidence to do it then. And then it's the old me, like the 100-year-old me going, you better do it because I want to experience this when I'm older. So if I'm ever doubting anything, I'll go in, and there's the voices. So they're my two cheerleaders, and there's no negative. It's taken me, like I said, 3 years really solid work to do it. But now, because I've got rid of all those people out of my life, I don't have any negativity in my head. So I'm like, I can do it. I just need to figure out a way. And
everybody can do it. And it's not an instant thing, though, that if you decide you want to go on this journey, and it's taking small steps every day to make them changes, and your thought process and the way you talk to yourself is what you become. And there's evidence that proves it. What you put out there comes back to you. And that's why that work of just going inwards and understanding where them thoughts come from, where that negativity comes from, is honestly. Can we talk about the feeling, though, when you get rid of the negativity and you heal yourself and get rid of some layers? What a moment it is.
It's the most liberating thing. I don't know who did the quote, but there's a quote that if you believe you can or you can't, you're right. And I was saying this to my daughter the other day, because she was like, "Oh, probably you won't be able to do that." And I'd never understood it before. I was trying to explain it to her. I was like, "Well, you're right. If you believe you can and you believe you can't, you're right. Whatever you choose, if you think you can do it, you will eventually. If you think you can't do it, then you'll never be able to do it, because your belief, your self-belief will never pull you along. But when you do let go of all these, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. When you let go of it all, it's the most liberating, free thing. And it's figuring out who you are. And again, I've only just recently realised, who am I? I'm a free spirit. I don't like rules. And I feel like for so long I've been kept in a cage, and I just, I was speaking to someone a few months ago, and they was talking about someone that I know, and they're like, I'm not too sure of her. She's too much, and it really pissed me off.
Yeah.
And
Things
I'm
like that
I know
piss
who
me
you
off.
are. I know who you are now. I see you for who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the problem, especially it was a woman bashing a woman. It was internalized misogyny. And I'm learning a lot about patriarchy. My husband's been a feminist. You know, he's always talked about feminism. And I would always roll my eyes and go, ugh. But actually, he's like, Lindsey, you've always been a feminist. You just didn't realise it.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to an audiobook called The Beauty Myth. And it's just so eye-opening when you see none of it's our fault. All these things, all these insecurities. Look at Kim Kardashian. She's launched a bloody face thing. You know, women are we're drowning in insecurities because so many companies benefit from it financially. And so it's in their interest to make us feel insecure. You need to be smaller, you need to be shrinking, lose weight, hair
because where would you be?
External things.
Yeah,
And
but it is external.
everything's external on Instagram. And then I think, and it's not taught in schools again to young girls, and it absolutely baffles me, is you glow on the outside if you do the work on the inside. Beauty is inner.
Yeah.
You can walk around with fake eyelashes on, loads of makeup, but what's inside? What's beyond that? That's where your beauty really is. And like now, the more I just like let go of all these things, I'm just like, I am just love and energy, and it's what you radiate into. And I think,
and it never lies.
It never lies.
Don't listen. I teach my daughter, don't listen to people's words. Go by their energy. How does that person make you feel? She's already picking up on it. She said to me the other day, I don't want to go to that house again. I don't like the energy of the person. I was like, no problem. Because I've been teaching her, people will say, you know, and I was saying about, I had an ex-boyfriend, he was like, I love you, but he kept cheating on me. So but for a long time I listened to his words. His words mean nothing. People say stuff all the time. Go by people, the energy. My body was telling me the whole time, red flag. And my body was telling me, I didn't listen to myself. You know, and you justify the behaviour. Oh, well, he's had a bad childhood. Oh, well, his dad did it. Oh, his mum did it. No. How does that person make you feel? So, you know, it's such an important lesson. And accountability as well. Like, it's sad because some kids don't have a home where the parents teach them about accountability. The parents themselves don't have self-awareness. So these poor children aren't going to get taught it by the parents. I've actually said to my school, my daughter's school, why don't we incorporate that? Because there's quite a few children that are being quite mean, but the parents don't take accountability. The parents are like, no, my child won't do that. And even when one particular parent, I said, well, actually, the child got caught doing it and they apologised for it. But I'm just saying, as a parent, can you just have a chat with them to make sure that it doesn't happen again? And I'll have a chat with mine. Yeah. The parent didn't come back. The parent said to me, well, I spoke to them and they said that they didn't do it. And I believed them. And then when I was like, oh, no, they got caught doing it. No, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll have a chat with you for lying to me. Yeah. You know, nothing like that. So it's like, so when you see children behaving like that, you're like, makes total sense. It's not their fault. It's the parents' fault because the parents aren't teaching it them.
Especially if the child knows they've done wrong and the parents are saying,
well, kids don't realise, they just think they can get away with it. You know, and they just don't realise that adults can see through it.
Yeah. The products of our childhood.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like, you know, the environment that you're in, and, you know, all things that happen at school with Oliver or Jake, and I don't look at the child, I look at the child's behaviour, but then for me, on what's going on for them, because we're products of what they're being raised. And it's like, I think one of the main things I've learned on my journey is to meet everybody with a level of compassion. Yeah. Even the people who are mean to me. I think, well, if you want to treat me that way, what's going on for you? Mm-hmm. And I think it's a game changer. So I've been doing a life coaching course, and I love this. Everybody's got a different map of reality. And it's such another game changer is, so their example was, if I'm always on time and I'm not good for people who are late. But actually, what's that person's map of reality for being late? Maybe in childhood they were always late. And it's that understanding, actually, everybody's map of reality is so different, isn't it? So what I believe in my morals and values somebody's going to be completely different. And I think that's been the main thing for me is I don't judge. I just meet everybody quite neutral with a level of compassion and let people just crack on. Because I have got a thing around me at the minute and where people don't want me to be involved in their lives. And I would normally take that quite personally. But actually, I know that I'm a really nice person. And if you don't want me to be a part of your life, then that is a you issue. It takes a long time to get there, though, doesn't it? It takes a really long time to get there.
It's their loss. That's the way I look at it. I feel the way I look at it is I feel sad for them because I know I'm a good person. And I will help anybody. And I suppose if those people don't want you in their life, it's because you're triggering for them. Because you're actually a mirror of everything that they're not willing to face. So many people aren't willing to face. They want to escape. And there's so many ways that people escape: food, TV, drugs, alcohol. There's so many things. So when they see you doing the work, maybe it was comfortable for them because if you were here, but now you're like here. It's like, oh God, they know that you're doing the work and it isn't easy, but you're triggering for them.
Can we talk about doing the work, how bloody hard it is? Because it's
so
easy
hard
to run away, isn't it?
And it can be so lonely as well, and you can feel like you're losing everybody, and it is hard, but it's a choice. You know, do you want to live a half full, fulfilled life or not? There's a podcast, Stephen Bartlett one, it's just come out recently, something Hoffman, and he's talking about reality and perception, and that's a really fascinating episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, you know, there's 4 of us here now, but we're all having a completely different perception of this whole experience. And I find that blows my mind.
Like everybody's map of reality is different, so everybody sees different. And I always think as well, everybody will look at this episode or my picture on Instagram and see it differently because we're looking from a different lens at all times. So everybody will have a different version of me, what relates to them. So some people obviously see me as she's nice, and somebody will think, oh, I don't like. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's viewing you through a different lens. I think that's important as well. I think.
But I think it's important to accept that that's okay. However they see you is okay, as long as you're confident and you are yourself, you know who you are. It doesn't matter who.
And I think that anyone's struggling with that, I've got a friend who, she does her keynote, she's called Katie Lisa, and she's amazing, and she talks a lot about values. And she does a lot in business, and she helped build social change. She worked with them, and she's done so many things, but I was at one of her sessions that she did, and I'd never actually sat down and thought, what are my values? Because we all think maybe, what's the value of the business, but what's the value of us as an individual? So it was about really working through that. So if anyone's like struggling with who they are or that identity, start with that. Like, what are your core values as a person? What's important to you? You know, and I think when I'm meeting people and, you know, like something doesn't, energy's off. I think I speak about this a lot with my husband. I think it's because we don't have the shared values that, you know, I will speak up for what's right, even if it means me standing alone. And I've always been like that. And I think for a long time, being with certain people that are not, the energy's off, it's because we don't have the same values. We can have different opinions, political opinions, whatever. But if we don't have the core value, like kindness, integrity, they're my like core values. And if I don't see, you know, I see some people and they'll be like, oh, look at her. Oh, I'm like, oh no, don't want to be around that.
And it's good to be able to say no thank you to that energy. And this is, so let's go back to the yes button. It's a community for women to step into their power, to step into knowing that there's more for themselves. It's putting you in the community of a safe place to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And that's where the magic lies for women, is bringing women together. And that's part of us as a 4 o'clock club. We climbed Snowdon last week. We took a group of women to Snowdon. We've got an event coming up the 22nd of August, which is a yoga retreat. And it's something magical when women come together. And when I went to Snowdon last week, you forget what it's like to belly laugh. And to just be, it was just the best time. And sometimes amongst life, you forget that actually it's them times, isn't it? And we didn't all know each other. We just all came together, and And I've got a feeling that's what the yes button is good. Well,
it just sounds really just full of authentic people.
Yeah, we're going to be doing events. We've got so much in the pipeline. It's all very exciting. But like I say, it's not just because the thing that really I struggled with at first, what was it going to look like? And I'm like, because everyone's going, oh, is it going to be business? Is it going to be about motherhood? And I'm like, no, because women are so many different things. So that's why I think it's really important to
anybody who just wants to be surrounded by women who maybe again is listening to that little voice that there might be something more for you, listening to yourself. It's scary to step into the unknown.
Yeah.
But step into the yes button. I quite like that. Step into the yes button.
Not letting people, like creating a structure where that people's knows you can't do that. Like it doesn't. It just bounces away. People can't touch you when you know who you are and you're with other people. Absolutely. You feel like you can do anything. And I think, do you know, after the call the other day, I had a woman go, "Wow," and she said, "I've been putting off starting a business." Because of all the people around her family, like, you know, you can't let you sure it might fail, what about this, what about that? And she said, after that call, I registered the domain. I'm like, how amazing is that? That's the first step of like saying yes to yourself.
How did you feel in that moment?
Oh, I was buzzing. Like, absolutely buzzing.
Once you find your purpose, there's no going back. Because you're just on the wave. You say you know life's not perfect, but and this is with us with the podcast. We just know it feels right, it feels aligned, and we're going along with that. And there's no better feeling than somebody saying to you, "That's really helped me." And I think as humans, we thrive with connection and giving back. So for us, in our hardest times, this is where we've come. We sat here, laid it bare, and that's where these spaces are incredible. So how do we join? I've joined the yes button.
Yeah,
£10 a month.
Yeah.
How do we join?
You can cancel anytime. We'll put the links out, but if you go on my Instagram, there's a link there where you can sign up to it, and it'll and then we do there's 2 1-hour one-hour sessions. We've got 1 hour with an expert. So this month it was Lou in Luland. And then there'll be an hour with me, and we'll unpick different things. And every month it'll be 1 hour with an expert and 1 hour with me, and we'll do like quarterly, yearly goal setting, access to events. So there's so many good things, and this is what I love, is the fact that I can build on it and make it anything. So I'm getting feedback from everyone, and I'm like, tell me what it is like you guys are struggling with, because I'll know someone in my network that can help with it. So it's about just getting feedback, constant feedback. How do we improve it? How do we make it better? Also, the other side of it as well is the dinner club, which is an intimate thing. It's a bit more of an investment, but we have direct access to a guest speaker. And that's been brilliant. We had our first one with an amazing speaker called Dior. She's a life coach, and the feedback from her was incredible. The next one that we've got is with Grace Andrews, who's just left working with Stephen Bartlett. She's a creative director there, so we'll get access to figure out and find out what she's going to be doing next with her career, which is really exciting. So it's so many amazing things going, but bringing people together, bringing women together, and the whole point is connection.
It's connection, isn't it? I think that's
connection, and you don't know what somebody's going through, and sometimes going on a simple Zoom or going to a networking event can spark something inside of them. And that's where the magic lies. Is if you just take that little step of knowing that there's more for yourself, that and we're living proof that in your rock bottom, how despair sometimes, horizontal is that you can, I think it's how you put yourself back together, and we have a choice. And I feel like a new woman after this podcast. And you know what?
And I can't wait to join as well.
Honestly, it was. And I think when again you surround yourself with like-minded women, magic happens, doesn't it? And here we are. Who would have thought in February, riddled anxiety, came to watch you, that you sat on the sofa with us. And what a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any plans for today?
I'm camping tonight. I'm actually glamping in my garden.
Oh, nice. That sounds fun.
Well, I wanted to take my daughter on a trip away, and she's like, "No, Mummy, I just want to hang out with friends, no offence." And I was like, "Oh, well, what's the one thing that me and you can do just me and you? And she looked at me and she went, camping, because she knows that I'm not going to do it. But in her head, she's thinking my mum won't do that. So I'm like,
you're like, absolutely, yes.
I'm like, so I've got a glamping tent coming to the house. That's what I'm doing tonight.
Amazing.
So
That'll be
nice.
amazing.
What you doing?
Packing for
Moving
my
house.
house. I'm
Are you
moving
moving
house.
house?
Yeah, my
Exciting.
son's away with his dad at the minute, so for 5 weeks. So I'm needy. Not knowing who I am because I'm not having to parent. It's so hard.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, the 18-year-old. I've got an 18-year-old who's at home all the time, but he flies to Italy next week to them.
Yeah.
So I've got sort of then a full week. But yeah, I'm 3 weeks in of him being away, and it's hard. It is hard. I'm just trying to embrace and reset and.
It is. It's the evolution of our lives. Is
it's that
constant
identity
change, isn't
thing
it? And
as well, isn't
yeah.
it? It's that. It's me learning that I'm
Something
other than.
You're not just someone's mom.
Yeah.
You're not just someone's wife or ex-wife or whatever.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
And what do you like? Or what what are your passions? What do you want to learn? What do you want to?
I've been having a nap after work.
Absolutely.
When it's Mark, I'll be like, I need a nap. I've been just go work, have a nap.
But
You
you
do
do
miss
work.
the nap days.
You do work full time and you are packing, so your life is pretty consumed.
Yeah. So it'll be packing and just
Packing.
chill.
Yeah. Mine is I am cutting my grass, I think, today. Do you know what? The highlight. Do you know I haven't had a minute all week because I've had the boys. I've had a full-on week because they've been away the week before. My grass needs cutting. I'm going to cut my grass, and then tomorrow I'm going to Birmingham for a pod. I'm a guest on a podcast.
Nice. Congratulations.
The Authentic Girls Club.
It's going to be amazing. So proud.
So I'm heading there tomorrow. I mean, I don't know, I'm going to cope with not being the host. Leading. Like, you're in sort of control, aren't you? I mean, what do you know
Just
what?
go ride the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm excited about? Is I'm really real, I'm really raw. I'll share the depths of despair with you of my journey because I know it'll be an anchor for different for somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Got a new dress ready. It's exciting. Anyway, let's keep talking. Thank you very much, Phoebe, for recording. Thank you, Lindsey, for coming on.
Thank you.
And have a great Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.